Welcome to the Knights the Round Table podcast. Today, this is part 2 of our Doctor Who discussion from Season 7. We're actually going to talk about upcoming episodes and the 50th anniversary. It's a quick little talk with Vernon Hill, Jeffrey Zyra, and Ken Parker. And we're just going to talk about what Doctor Who might be doing with the 50th anniversary and our opinions on that. So enjoy. Thank you. Now we have the 50th anniversary coming up. And that's going to be everything. Now, they already do that. The new Doctor Who, especially Stephen Moffat, he always does that. He brings back multiple characters. So they're doing it already. So
it's a reunion, yeah.
How can they...
They're doing it again in a couple of weeks for the Christmas special.
Well, yeah, so
Sontaran
it's such a small universe.
And her lover there.
But... So when the 50th anniversary comes along, are we going to have really good stories that are maybe standalone, maybe do a story with the Ice Warriors? No, we're going to have Ice Warriors and maybe we'll throw in some Zygon. It's just, and maybe bring in 3 companions from the past. And
well, let's bring back Joe Grant.
I mean, are they going to go way overboard and put everything in but the kitchen sink? Or are they just going to... I don't know. I'm dreading it.
Well, that kind of goes back to what we were just saying. They need someone to say,
They're trying to
this is
bigger,
too far.
bigger, and bigger, and bigger.
You don't have to... Instead of topping yourself with, I don't want to say special effects, there are other ways to top yourself without bringing in every guest star. Like you mentioned earlier, just, how about a better written episode? To top yourself that way, instead of saying, watch this episode because every Doctor's going to be in it, we're going to reincarnate everybody even if they're dead, and
But do the fans like that though?
I understand.
The viewers like that.
I understand that, but it's the easy way out.
Yeah, a good example is A Good Man Goes to War. When all of a sudden you see the pirates, the World War II fighter jets, and then the Solarian. In the Sontaran, he gets all these people for A Good Man Goes to War. It's like this big mess.
Right.
But I mean, maybe viewers like that.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but I'm just saying, it's not as easy. But if you write a better episode, viewers would like that too.
Yeah.
Aim a little higher instead of for the lowest common. I want to. Yeah, that don't mean it quite that way, but just the idea that I'm going to see David Tennant next to Matt Smith next to these guys working together.
I mean, that gimmick is certainly there, and I think we all kind of would like to see that. I mean, we saw a little bit of it with recently
with Tennant and Davison.
Yeah, and that's fine, but we're expecting that because it's a special and everything. But can we not have? And I wouldn't mind seeing some companions too. I mean, Jamie McCrimmon or someone.
They did it like the 3 Doctors. They made a good story like the 3 Doctors, where there was an actual story,
right?
Instead of just throwing, "Hey, here's David Tennant."
I don't have any confidence in the 50th anniversary. I mean, it would be great to see some of these villains and stuff like that. But if they have a really good Ice Warrior story, an hour long or even 2-parter, Ice Warriors, not Ice Warriors wearing tuxes, not Ice Warriors that are human looking. I mean, the worst part of the Silurians was they made them look less alien. I mean, the original Silurians look great. These look like people in costume. I mean, maybe the other ones look like people with masks on, but this looks like a person with makeup on. But if you humanize them, like a lot of we've seen rhinoceroses being humanized, we've seen pigs being humanized. I mean, the vultures were great. I love that. I mean, they're all like from Sarah J. They're all being humanized, and it's like, can you just have an alien that's really an alien and not like have one that makes jokes and laughs and I'm wearing a tux and I'm a nurse. Whoa, that's shocking to me. That's amazing. I'm gonna write about it on my blog that the Sontaran is a nurse wearing a tux. Was he wearing a tux? Or why am I thinking that he was wearing a tux?
Because the Sontaran's wearing a tux in the Christmas special.
Okay. Oh, he's in the Christmas special too. I forgot about him.
I thought he died at the end of whatever.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, then the Sontaran with the nipple implants that can lactate for babies.
Oh,
because he's the nurse. Remember,
I love that. That's just absolutely fantastic. It's like, are they drunk when they think of these stories? And the thing that bothers me, that makes me mad, is that a lot of fans love it. And I'm like, where did the episode of the Romans, which is actually a pretty good episode, where did that become the blueprint for Doctor Who? Why did gunfighters in the Romans and Horns and Nymon and maybe Nightmare at Aden, some of those really episodes that had really goofy moments, and why are they the blueprint for the new show? What happened to Caves of Anazani and Talons of Wayne Cheyenne and Tomb of the Cyber? Why are those really good episodes no longer the blueprint? When did that happen? I don't know.
You get one of those every once in a while, like Doctor's Wife and Vincent and the Doctor.
Thinking about the future of Doctor Who?
Where do we think it's headed?
Well, we got a new companion.
It's got a new companion, but we mentioned earlier, we talked earlier briefly about.
It's going to have a new.
It's going to be dark.
A new TARDIS interior.
Mm-hmm. Is she going to redesign it or something? She's going to.
No, they had to do that because when they went from one studio to the other, they had to build a new.
I have not heard anything about the second half of the season.
Well, there's Mark Gatiss is writing an episode, and Neil Gaiman is doing the Cybermen.
Oh, because Neil Gaiman.
And I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Hopefully, Neil Gaiman does them justice, and they're not caricatures of their former selves, and hopefully they get rid of the stomping. When they walk, because he said Cybermen is supposed to creep around a corner and you don't hear them, and here they are.
Yeah. Maybe there'll be 8 episodes that are on par with Asylum of the Daleks and
I hope they make them a
Angel
little
episode.
bit more serious stories and less silly.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Is that the direction they're going to go in? Is there going to be any fallout from what happened to
The thing
Amy and
is,
Rory?
everyone's comparing Matt Smith to Patrick Troughton. Yes, Patrick Troughton was funny at times, but his Doctor and his stories were very serious.
Well, that's the whole thing. Every time you saw humor, not every time, most of the time you saw humor in Doctor Who, it was the Doctor flying in the face of villains and of bad governments and stuff. So you would have the serious person, and the Doctor would just kind of say, "Oh, chop suey, defender of the universe," or whatever. He would be the one who would kind of diffuse and put the humor into it. Now you have a lunatic master running around going, "Ooh," and everyone else is being silly, and everyone else is having the ability to be humorous. And the Doctor's certainly still part of that, because then he does the dinosaur riding and stuff, which is silly, but it just loses its impact because you don't care anymore. You're just kind of like, everyone's funny. So I'll mention this. I don't know if this is relevant. I went to a viewing of a new Doctor Who episode, and everyone was laughing. Rise of the Cybermen. Everyone was laughing when they were supposed to laugh, and the dog's named Rose. Ha 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 ha! It's still funny after watching it so many times, but
Oh, they're talking about the dog. Okay.
yeah. But apparently they showed Genesis of the Daleks, and people, I didn't watch it, but people in the audience were laughing at Genesis of the Daleks. And I don't remember that being that funny. I remember a couple scenes, but because now Doctor Who is a comedy, and you're supposed to laugh throughout the episode, you will now laugh at all classic episodes. I think it's changed the whole mentality, so if they start going into a darker Doctor, and a dark, maybe start making more stories like Girl in the Fireplace or
The Satan Pit.
Make it more serious. You can certainly keep humor in it, but will that turn people off? Because now they're like, I don't want to watch. I want to watch it when the Sontaran's doing the dance. I want him to dance. I don't want him to be killing people, because that's no fun.
Yeah,
Is that the direction that...
They are making it too silly. They need to make it a little more serious.